Hello, my friends. All right. So here we are. We are live. Finally, 8 minutes late. It's all good, sisterhood. You know why? You know why it's all good? Just making sure I'm live in the right place. Yep. And where is she? There she is. All right. New message of the day. Everything is figure it outable. Everything is figure it outable. You can always figure out a way. All right. So after 8 minutes of, hi, Christy. Okay, good. I'm seeing comments. So far, it's good. So after 8 minutes of finessing, I do the same thing every Thursday at 11 because I'm consistent and that's just what I do. But every Thursday I show up and I things change on the other end. And I'm like, really? We're going to battle again, Facebook? Like this time? Let's go. Bring it. Because I got things to tell my girls. So guess what? After 8 minutes, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to find a way. So I found a way. So here I am. Yay. I'm glad I see comments. I don't see some names. So I will go back later and reply to the comments. I see Christy there. It's been so long since I've been here. Oh my gosh. Who are you? I'll have to figure out who you are. I don't see a name attached to this, but all good. I'm so glad you're here. Perfect time to be here because today we are going to make some amazing muffins. We're going to talk all about setting boundaries, which I think is really important this time of year with the holidays coming up. Oh, it's the best day ever. Cheers to that one, huh? Cheers to that one. So if you haven't listened to this week's mantra, let's just start there. So last week we were talking about finding that zone, right? Like knowing your zone when you're the most productive, knowing your zone when it's like 6 o'clock swim, nailing it. But 3 p.m. swim, yeah, not so much. Like you have to know your zone, right? Know your zone, whether it be with your workouts, know your zone when it comes to doing certain important emails. Once you know that zone, okay, so we nailed that zone last week. Now this week is all about protecting that zone, right? So you have your zone, you know when you're the most productive, and then guess what? You've got to set walls and boundaries around that zone and be like, this is my time, this is my hour, and I'm going to have boundaries, and not only boundaries for other people, but boundaries for yourself, right? Like nobody's going to mess with my zone. Therefore, I'm on airplane mode. I'm not here. So creating that solid boundaries, like protect that zone. Okay. And as you may have heard in the mantra, just sparked up because I was swimming and I was taking a quick little breather and I heard a girl talk about her father who kept calling her. So she kept getting out of the pool and like answering her phone. And I'm just sitting there kind of, I'm just, not that I'm an eavesdropper, but I can't help but hear what she has to say. And I'm just sitting there thinking, why are you answering your phone? Like, don't answer your phone. Put the phone away, put it on airplane mode. Just, this is your zone. Do your thing. And so it just sparked me like, how quickly we are to let our walls down, let down that boundary, let down that guard. And so this week is really about setting those boundaries. And I think with the holidays coming up, always boundaries, but especially right now, right? Things are heightened, stress is heightened, everything's heightened. It's like create those boundaries. So it's really, really important. And girls, you might not be able to control other people, right? You can't control when your boss is going to call. You can't control when your father's going to call and talk to you about how he's in escrow, blah, blah, blah. That was her whole conversation. My dad's closing escrow in Tennessee. And I heard the whole thing. I'm thinking, airplane mode, like that can wait, right? And so it's just really important while you can't control other people and you can't blame other people. Like they're just excited. They're just trying to share. They don't know, but you can control yourself, your boundaries, saying the no button and only saying yes when it works within that zone. Now there are, moments, there are times like, of course, your kids need you, things like that. I mean, come on, right? So read between the lines. But when you are checking into somebody else or putting down your boundaries, if this is your time and all you have is 30 minutes to get into your GFIT workout and it's like go time, everything else must stop. Okay. All the distractions, they must stop. So if you haven't really invested this week into setting up those boundaries, and this doesn't happen in 7 days, this is hard. And this is something you got to keep tapping back into because especially if you're somebody that likes to help and likes to do and likes to be there, it's really easy to put down that boundary wall. But remember, it's really important that we have that focal point, knowing when that zone is. Then once we have it, we set up our little brick wall around that to protect that zone and do what we can control. Airplane mode all day. All right. Otherwise, you're not going to be productive. You're not going to get stuff done because you're constantly being distracted because you are not staying true to you and your boundaries. So if you haven't listened to that one, definitely listen in on it. It's a good one. And these little tools and tips are massive in helping you relieve stress, help you be more productive. Because how many people at the end of the day are like, I was super, super busy all day, but I did nothing. Or you have nothing to write home about. You're like, I don't know what the hell I did. I was busy all day, but I don't know what I did. Well, maybe because you weren't being productive. And so these little things are ways to kind of help you be more productive. Once you found that zone, you protect it. All right, girls. How about that live last week with Julia? Thank you so much for coming on, Julia. I am obsessed with that pate. And can I just tell you, now I swear I see pate everywhere. I was at Costco yesterday. I see pate. And I'm like, okay, let me check out your pate. And I see it. And of course, it's got crazy amount of fat for a tiny little serving, not as much protein. It was like 18 grams of fat for 2 ounces or something ridiculous. Just like she had said, her parents, they use some, bacon fat. That's what it was. Bacon fat and a high fat meat. So you put it all together and what do you get? You get a whole bunch of fatness without the protein. And why not make it the G-Fit way, which we did. And it made so much. I was having fun with it. I threw it on eggs. I kind of combined some proteins. I threw it in a stir fry. I threw it in a crock pot recipe that I had. I needed the protein, so I just threw it right on top. And I'm telling you, it kind of like dissipated in the broth and created like a really nice flavor. So huge winner. Kids love it. So if you haven't tried that one, must try the pate. Okay, the G-Fit retreat. I am so excited for those that signed up for the pre-sale list. Now you can actually sign up. You should have gotten an email for that. Be close to your email because I'm telling you, the response we got was incredible. And I am so excited to be able to just join forces with each and every one of you. Hug, cry, share memories, share, and just be real and raw in Zion. I mean, come on. So it's going to be an amazing getaway, full of just so much goodness, everything we do here times 100. Lots of stillness, lots of what I feel like everyone is craving right now, right? Get away from the noise and just be with real, raw people in nature. I know what I'm craving. So I figure, the response was that you girls are craving the exact same thing. So it's going to be epic. So if you haven't gotten that email, reach out to me. We can get it all figured out. But I want to make sure that you girls that sign up for the list have first dibs at best pricing, best rooms and whatnot. So excited. It's happening. It's going to be rad. Okay. What else? Next week is already Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? We are entering into like the heart of the holiday season with Thanksgiving here and then Christmas. What? Crazy. So next week we won't have a live. It's Thanksgiving, but I will have a really good workout for you. And it's going to be just a day full of everything that we've already been filling. Our cup's already been filling with all the gratitude, right? Now we're going to overflow it on Thanksgiving with our friends and family. And maybe last year you didn't get together with friends and family, and this is your year. So it's going to be a really epic week coming up. All right, girls. So this week, I wanted to share with you a recipe that I made yesterday. I kind of created it based off of wanting to stick with the real foods that we're on. We've done a lot of baking with protein powder. So if you want to bake with protein powder, we've got tons of recipes in there. But as the evolution is happening, I want to keep kind of being mindful about the powders, keeping things as raw and as real as possible so that if there's people that have issues with the protein powders or whatnot, we just kind of, there's lots of options for everyone. And this week we are making Apple Carrot Muffins. So Christine, I saw she was on leave for a little bit, celebrating with her family. So this one's for you, Christine. When you watch the replay, I'll maybe nudge you and let you know because you were asking all about carrots, carrot cake, carrot bread, carrot everything. And while we don't eat carrots freely on the G-Fit lifestyle, that doesn't mean you can't have them, right? We just have to account for them. And if you're having little bits shredded here and there, it's not the end of the world. However, in a recipe like this, where we are going to use, I'm going to use a full cup, they are accounted for in the recipe. But I personally am a carrot cake lover. Can't tell you the last time I had real carrot cake. I think Christine Armitage actually has a really good recipe. Maybe she can share with us. I can't tell you the last time I had a carrot cake. However, it is my favorite cake of all time, carrot cake. So this kind of reminds me of that without all the extra sugar and whatnot. So it's a carrot apple muffin. All right, girls, are you ready for this? Yeah, Dorothy's like, ooh, yummy. Yeah, all about it. Christy, you're going to like this one. So it's not a carrot cake, but it's carrot muffins. So it's inspired by the carrot cake. Okay, so here we go. So yesterday I made it and it came out. Here, I'm just going to show you, okay? I'm going to show you the after. It came out delicious. I made these little muffins and I also made a few into loaves. So as you can see that the apples are in there. I chopped them up really fine. And so there's several ways that you can do this recipe. You can chop up the apples. You can also kind of saute them so they're soft. So yesterday I did them. I just chopped up fresh apples raw, of course, yeah, raw, and put them in there, mixed it all up, and they came out fantastic. Okay, but today I'm going to make a few tweaks because I feel like it could use a little bit more moisture. Just these alone are great, but I just maybe just a oomph up of moisture. So we're going to add a little bit of pumpkin, and I also sauteed the apples. So I'm going to tell you what I did here in a second. But I'm not calling these pumpkin muffins because it's very small. It's a very small amount of pumpkin, so it's not going to overpower the apple or the carrot flavor. Okay, it's just enough to give it a little bit of moisture. All right, so these are already in the GFit app under our eggs and baked favorite section. And let's see here. All right, here we go. So 5 egg whites, which I already have for us here. 5 egg whites right into our big bowl. And 1 whole egg. So keep in mind that as I'm doing these recipes, I'm being mindful of our macros. So trying to kind of take out some of the fat where I can, put in fat where we need it for that moisture, which you'll see in coconut oil. So we're going to do 5 egg whites and 1 whole egg. As a reminder, of course, you can always use liquid egg whites, but I just find in baking that using the real egg just helps with that consistency. Okay, speaking of coconut oil, I'm going to heat that puppy up. Okay, so we've got 5 egg whites, 1 whole egg, a 1/4 cup of coconut oil, which is going to give us a little bit of fat, but a little bit of that moisture. Most of these recipes are going to call for butters and things like that, which we're going to take away and use the coconut oil. Also, for a little punch in fiber, we're going to add a little bit of psyllium husk. Many of you probably already have psyllium husk because of our many recipes, including the everything, my favorite bagels. So a 1/4 cup of psyllium husk right in there. Now we've got our coconut oil, 1/4 cup of coconut oil. Oh, not heated enough yet. It's funny, in the summer, that thing is liquid. In the winter, it starts to solidify, so you just got to pop it in the microwave, heat it up so that it can become a liquid. All right, there you go. So now we're also going to add 5 tablespoons, so just over a 1/4 cup of your sugar-free syrup. Sugar-free syrup, it could be Walden Farms, whatever it is. This is just to replace the honey or any kind of extra liquid that they use that's full of sugar. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup plus a little bit more. So basically just a 1/4 cup, let it kind of explode Okay. Are we back? Are we back? Is it the best day ever? That's all I want to know. Is it the best day ever? Oh, who's with me? Who's with me? Let me know we're here again. Are we back? Okay, Dortha, we good? We're live? Okay. Sometimes you get tested, right? When things are good, you get tested in life. Yes, I'm back. All right, here we go. Okay, so we got the sugar-free syrup in there. Now we are going to add the coconut oil. So it's a 1/4 cup of coconut oil right into there. And we can't skimp on some of the fat. So don't worry, this is all worked in. The coconut oil is going to add a little bit of yummy fat. These are, can I just tell you, these are amazing for post-workout. Okay, so now we've got the coconut oil in there, and here we go with the apples. So yesterday I shared with you that I did the apples raw, right? So I just chopped them up, put them in there. They came out dynamite. However, with a little bit more moisture, what I did this morning was I sauteed them up. Sauteed apple with a little bit of stevia and a little bit of cinnamon. If you haven't tried it, it's incredible. It tastes like apple pie. I'm telling you, just that alone. Throw it on some sweet eggs, and you've got yourself an amazing treat. So I sauteed up the apples a little bit just to make them a little bit softer. So here we go. I have 1 cup of apples. And here's the thing with these recipes, ladies, is that you can try them a couple different ways, okay? You can always like, oh, I'm going to try them sauteed apples. I'm going to saute them, or I'm going to do them fresh and kind of see which you like the best. All right, so we've got the apples in there. Now we also have a cup of shredded carrots. Now, I'm going to tell you, shredding them yourself really makes a big difference, because if you get them at the store, sometimes they're kind of really hardy and they're not as fine. Shredding them yourself makes them so they're really, really fine carrots. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add a full cup of shredded carrots into the mix. Okay. So we've got our carrots, our apples, already smells incredible. And now for the carbohydrates, we're going to do oatmeal. All right. So I've got regular oats, rolled oats. You can use quick oats if you want to get more of like a finer muffin. However, I just like a really hearty muffin. So I went for the oats here. Okay. We're going to do a full cup of oatmeal. Okay. Goes right into there. Full cup of oatmeal. And then to cut back on a little bit of the carbs, I wanted to utilize coconut flour. So we're going to do a 1/2 cup of coconut flour. And we are actually almost done. It's a really simple recipe. I was actually pretty impressed how it came out. So we've got a 1/2 cup of coconut flour. And now here is where we're going to add some baking powder. I did a mix of both baking powder and baking soda just to help with a little bit of the rising. All right, so put that right in there. That's the powder. Here's the soda. Okay, there we go. A pinch of salt. In baking, you really can't go without the salt, okay? You really need that extra little bit of salt with the sweetness. Okay, there we go. Now a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon really makes this incredible, really holiday-ish. You can use cinnamon, you can use nutmeg, but fresh cinnamon tastes perfect. And now here's where I'm going to add a little bit of the pumpkin puree. So I didn't add these in the last batch, but again, just to bump up a little bit of that moisture, going to add in here just a 1/4 cup. So I'm not calling these pumpkin muffins, even though there's pumpkin in there, because I know people that don't like pumpkin are going to be turned off by that. You really can't taste the pumpkin. If you wanted to use Greek yogurt, you could use that as well. Just something that I felt like it just needed just like a little oomph of flavor or moisture. All right, so we've got that. And then a little bit of no-calorie sweetener. So you can do your sweetener of choice, stevia or erythritol, monk fruit. And here's where you can play with that sweetness level. So put a little bit in and then you taste it, see how you like it. But I'm telling you, with the sweetness of the carrots, you might not need as much as you may have needed in the past. So just going to put a little bit of that in there. Okay, tablespoon up to a 1/4 cup. Some sweeteners aren't as sweet, so just kind of play with it, taste it. Okay, now there we go. So it's as simple as that. Now we're just going to mix all these ingredients and put them in our little muffin trays. One thing that you should definitely add to your Christmas list. Do you have a list going for all your people that are asking you what you want? When you're put on the spot, you're like, I don't know what I want. I don't know. Maybe you know what you want. I don't know. I always have to keep a list going of things that I need. And one of the things that you can add to your list is, if you don't already have one of these, is a silicone muffin tray. I'm telling you, this thing will be a game changer, not only because you don't have to use oils and, you know, have to add those extra tiny bits of fats, but it's amazing how they literally just pop out, as you see, once you let this thing cool, how it perfectly pops out of my silicone tray. Okay, so if you don't have that on your list, you need to get a silicone muffin tray. They also have the silicone bagel trays as well, so that kind of helps with our bagel recipe. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what it looks like as I'm mixing it. Doesn't this look incredible? It smells so good too. Okay, now here's where I'm going to fill up the muffin trays. This recipe makes 10 muffins according to the macros that I have. So this is 6. If you don't have 2 of these, which I don't, what I did was I put the remaining 4 in this tray, which you all have for zucchini loaves. This is what my loaf pan looks like. Another one to add to your Christmas list if you don't have this. And so this would be your 6 here. And then I did a loaf here, which I sliced into 4s. And then you get yourself a serving size that looks just like this. All right, so I'm going to save you the time on me putting it in there. So load up those trays. You really want to pack them down. So there's a lot going on here to these muffins, unless you were to puree them or put them in a mixer. But I mean, I just don't have time to do that, and it's not necessary. So what you're going to want to do when you fill up these trays is to really press down and kind of compact those muffins. And to be honest with you, when I was doing this yesterday, I was like, oh, I hope that they actually pop out of these trays because I'm pushing them down so much. But I was really impressed. The key, though, is that you need to let them sit, all right, so that they can cool and then they'll pop right out. So you're going to take these and fill up your muffin trays, compress them down. So use the top of the spoon to really make them kind of dense, okay? So you're going to put 6 in there. If you have 2, you're going to make your 10 muffins. If you don't have 2 of those, use one of these, and then you just will slice these into 4s. And this recipe, girls, is 1 carb and 1 serving of fat combined. And the protein is minimal, so this isn't considered a protein. This is considered a carb and a fat. And this makes an excellent post-workout meal. As you can see, it's got the yummy apples and carrots. So it's perfect for post-workout. I'm going to give it a tester. So good. I was impressed. So give these a try. These are going down in the app. They're already in there. I want to hear what you think of them. I'm also going to share with you my thoughts on whether or not it really made that big of a difference to saute the apples afterwards. But these are a winner. You can also slice them in half, toast them, put a little bit of butter on them. I did that for my kids, and they love them. So have at it, ladies. Have an incredible day. Dawn, I saw that you had a question about making hot chocolate and eggnog. Hot chocolate all day. The almond milk from the recipe book makes an excellent hot chocolate. I just made this with Nicolette using that almond milk with stevia chocolate chips, a little bit of sea salt, and a little bit of vanilla. Heat it all up on the stove. And if you need a little extra punch of, then you add a little bit of either protein powder, or if that doesn't mix up well, I use a little bit of cocoa powder, right? My daughter doesn't want the protein powder in there. And that made an amazing hot chocolate. So you've got the cocoa powder with the Lily's chocolate stevia chocolate chips, and then a little bit of vanilla, and it came out amazing. So thanks for that inspiration on getting me my wheels turning. Don't have the eggnog one yet for you, but I'm going to be working on that one for you for the holidays, because typical eggnog is something that we want to stay away from for sure. They do have like some of the Splenda, these Torani syrups. This one's a s'mores, but they do have a flavor that's eggnog that I've used and is really, really good. However, I want to try to master like a real eggnog. So thank you for the inspiration. I'm on it. I'm going to get that to you. And I'll also put up the hot chocolate recipe in our smoothie and hot drink section in the app. All right, ladies, have an incredible day. I'm out of coconut flour. Yeah, definitely, Christy, go stock up on that coconut flour. We will be using a lot of that, right, in our bagels and many of our recipes. So load up on that. And you should have all the other ingredients. But yeah, these are amazing, girls. So give these a try, and I can't wait to hear what you think. Have a great day, and we will be in very close touch. Water reminder. Cheers, my girls. Talk to you real soon.